Hi, Tom Whitman here from the HVAC Business Academy. Welcome to the second pre-learning event for replacement sales. By this time in the sales process, you should have discovered what your customer wants and begin to make a list of goals that they want you to accomplish for them. The next two steps is going to be the structural requirements and the rest of the story. Now, once you're finished with your evaluation and your questioning with the customer and establishing exactly what they want, the next step is for you to go with the customer to the areas of interest in the home. What I mean by that is, let's suppose the customer said that they had a bedroom that is just warm all year round. And one of the things they wanted you to accomplish was to make that bedroom more comfortable year round. You could tell that they're passionate about this one thing. So go there. It would go something like this. Well, Mrs. Smith, I think I have enough information to begin the evaluation of the home. Would you mind showing me where that warm bedroom is so I can take a closer look? Then while you're going to the bedroom and the different areas of the home, you want to focus on the things that are important to your customer. Whether it's a warm bedroom, whether it's an uncomfortable kitchen, whether it's excessive dust, whether they want to minimize the amount of allergy triggers in the home, whatever the case may be, go there with the customer. The objective is to encourage your customer to talk about that experience. The more your customer is engaged in talking about how difficult it is to live with this situation, the higher the sense of urgency to get it fixed. Here's how it's done. So let's suppose the bedroom is excessively warm, the master bedroom, and the wife says, yes, I'd really like to get this taken care of. So you walk into the bedroom and you say, well, Mrs. Smith, it's pretty warm in here. Listen, how long have you and your husband been living with this? Oh, 2 or 3 years. Wow, 2 or 3 years. Okay. Then you could say something like this. Well, what are the implications if this one thing isn't taken care of relatively soon, Mrs. Smith? And let him talk. Well, gosh, it's going to be a hot summer. It's uncomfortable. It's been very uncomfortable for 12 years. What we're doing now is building the gap. The more they talk about it, the more they relive the uncomfortable experience. And that's what we want. We want them to remember what it was like when it was really hot and really uncomfortable. Because it's easy to forget when the windows are open and it's really nice outside. And then once you're finished and she's talked about that, ask something like this. Well, what do you suppose your husband's going to say when you tell him we're finally going to be able to get this taken care of for you? That boosts a little bit more confidence, and it lets them paint the picture of where they are right now, which is a very uncomfortable place, and where they could be when you complete the work, which is a great place. It builds the gap, it builds a little bit of a sense of urgency, and it also establishes more credibility with the customer. Now, during the structural requirements, as you're walking through the home, you want to be observant. You want to ask relevant questions when you see or hear things like mercury switch thermostat, or you walk into a room and it's warm, or a return air noise. Maybe the return air grills are filthy, and you ask the question, Mrs. Smith, how long does it take for those return registers to get in that kind of shape? Okay, and that'll prompt a lot of other value-added questions that your customer probably would like to have taken care of. Download your structural requirement guideline. This will give you some tips on what to look for and what to say and questions to ask your customer. It's very valuable. Now it's time for you to get clear on exactly what your customer wants and your customer to get clear on exactly what you're going to be building. So let's build that list. Now you review your notes, you establish what your customer wants, and you convert those into things that you can deliver. Well, Mrs. Smith, I understand you have a warm bedroom. Earlier we said we were going to establish a short list of projects that you want me to accomplish for you. Now, would it be safe to put down, keep the master bedroom more comfortable year-round? Is that important to you? Okay. Keep the master bedroom comfortable year-round. Right? Okay, got it. Now, the next thing we talked about, Mrs. Smith, is you said that you had your son, is that right, Joe? He has allergy symptoms, and they were pretty severe, right? So let me ask you, if we were able to alleviate and reduce the allergy triggers in your home with the design of your system, would that be important? Okay, let's put that on our list too, okay? Reduce allergy triggers in the home, right? Okay, got it. This is so important to make sure that you're clear on what the customer wants and the customer is clear on what you're going to be building for them. When you and the customer make that connection, can you feel the enthusiasm and the sense of urgency start to build? Now it's not about the box, it's not about the air conditioning systems, and it's all about keeping that bed more comfortable, reducing the allergy triggers in the home, minimizing the dust circulation, whatever is relevant for the customer at that time. When you're finished building a list, the next step is, Mrs. Smith, I have a list of 5 things here. Could you put these in order of priority from most important to least? Now the customer not only told you exactly what they want, agreed to it, they're also telling you the most and least important things on that list. Valuable information. The next step is to reintroduce that person of interest earlier. Let's say the husband's name was Bob, and we want to make sure that we're not missing anything that might be important to Bob. So we'll say, now Mrs. Smith, is there anything not on this list that Bob would be interested in? Would Bob have the same order of priority? You see, now is when you're going to discover whether or not Bob is or isn't the absent decision maker. And you may decide at that point in time that if she says, well, you know, I probably will have to check a few things with Bob first. Do your work, complete the evaluation, reset that appointment with the absent decision maker and Mrs. Smith before reviewing the options. That way you can make sure that everybody who is capable of making a decision is present. When you're finished with this, the next step is to spend about 15 minutes by yourself, break away from your customer, to gather enough information to do the proper load calculation and prepare your options worksheet. That transition would go something like this. Mrs. Smith, I have enough information to complete my evaluation. I'll need about 15 to 20 minutes just to put everything together, do some calculations to make sure we get the right size, and to lay out a few of the equipment selection for you. Is that okay? When I'm finished, I'll come and I'll find you, I'll show you what I found. Then we'll review the different types of systems and how much of the work makes sense to schedule. Okay? Great. I'll see you in about 15 or 20 minutes. Now the next step is to re-engage with your customer. It'll go something like this. Well, Ms. Smith, I've finished putting everything together. Have a few more questions. How are we on time? You always want to make sure they're okay on time, first of all, because you don't want to run out of time, especially when you get in the middle of presenting. If your customer's out of time, reschedule another visit, and you want to have plenty of time without distractions to present. If they are ready, and you're reasonably sure that the person you're presenting to can make the buying decision, move forward with the presentation. Okay? The next step of the presentation, though, is going to be to review the rest of the story. The rest of the story is simply a little bit of information about your company. Now, if you download the rest of the story guideline, you'll see some prepared statements that you can use so that you can get your story down. Whatever you say needs to speak to what the customer needs to see and hear to advance the sale. If it doesn't advance the sale, you're wasting your time and your customer's time. Okay? So practice, drill, and rehearse all of the rest of the story topics and get really good and master this. It really increases credibility. Now the transition of this might be something like, Mrs. Smith, our customers tell me that it's important for them to know about the person and the company they're dealing with, and we feel like that's important too. So can I take just a couple of minutes to tell you about our company? And then get right into whatever you feel is relevant for the customer to know about your company. This will help establish credibility and give them a sense of security that you're the best possible solution for their problem. Practice, drill, and rehearse everything from the structural requirements, how to identify things that the customer may want, how to convert those answers into a deliverable on their list of goals, prioritize the list of goals, make sure that the absent decision maker is involved in the process, okay? Make sure you're okay on time. And then when you're finished, break apart for 15 or 20 minutes to complete your evaluation, prepare your options worksheet, make sure in your mind that that proposal, that options worksheet is specifically designed to satisfy every single thing on their list of goals. Work it out and go make it happen.